Oh, oh. Do, 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 do.
Okay. Labas. Hey. I know. Whoa. I know a few words in Lithuanian. My favorite word is lumžirgis. I don't know how I. This is my yeah. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Vinted, for hosting us.
Thank you for coming.
Here's for the love of UX. Woo! My name is Avi, and today we're going to maybe I'll go through some of what's happening today. We're going to discuss UX, and I want you to all feel like we're all friends meeting together, the colleagues. This is one of the best things about these types of events is that we get to know each other as well. It's not just coming to learn, but it's to create a community. And I think this is really why it's important to create these events, to get to know who's working in the industry, to make friends, to make colleagues. And I think this is 50%. I believe 50% of such events is really to get to know each other. So we're going to have two talks. And the third talk, where we're going to combine the audience in helping us create a discussion. We're going to discuss UX. We're going to have some questions. And if you have something to say about the new age of design using AI, maybe you can come up and speak and help us to create this event together. And this is a very friendly stage, so you're welcome to kind of be here and contribute, and maybe we can learn from your experience as well. So usually what I do, because we're also here, sometimes people are looking for work, and sometimes people are looking for employees. So I know Vinted is looking. Maybe you can tell us what you're looking for.
Yes,
Wait a
we
minute,
are. Yeah, hi, my name is Jonas. I lead the Vinted design and research team. But before just announcing this shameless plug, is it just me or there's an echo? Anyway, who else is hiring in the room? If you could raise your hand. Hiring. Come on over. Oh, sorry.
Hello guys, I'm from Orbio World. We have offices in Kaunas and Vilnius, and we're looking for mid-level web designer. Also, pretty seasoned juniors are also welcome, so hit me up after the event. Yeah, let's chat.
So after the event, if you guys are interested.
Orbio World, right?
Anyone else?
Orbio World.
Who else is looking for someone?
I saw someone else raising a hand.
It's a great opportunity.
You want a voice? No? No? Okay. Anyone else hiring?
Okay, you?
Yes, we are hiring, but I want to give an opportunity. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Giedre. I'm from PVCase, and we are hiring senior UI designer, actually, for design system, and not only that. You can contact me, Giedre Sarapnaite, on LinkedIn.
Sweet. Anyone else? All right. So we're also hiring. This time, the only position we have open is with Vinted Go. It's our new logistics business. And the position is about designing experiences for people who ship their items and people who receive their items, but not only on the consumer side, but also on the partner side. So exciting role with the fastest growing out-of-home delivery service in Europe. Yeah, that's that. End of ads.
Okay, thank you. Also, I want to thank Vinted for hosting us. I think amazing.
Yeah,
that,
once again,
we just give it some
thank you for
here.
joining.
Really important to create these types of events and communities. So thank you for creating all the good investment and the food, and it's really thankful. Thank you.
Thank you, Avi.
Okay.
As long as you'll be showing up, we're going to be doing these. So keep showing up, and these are going to keep on happening.
Oh, good. Yes. Okay, so I think we should begin. Aaron, the stage is yours. So again, we're going to have two talks, and then we're going to have a discussion. But I want you to start preparing. Maybe you have something to say. Maybe you're innovating on AI. Maybe something related to UX and AI. Whatever it is, I have brought some small prizes. If you will be brave enough to speak, I have some small pins here. So you get those. Two. This is a good incentive. Okay, Aaron, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming here, first of all. Thank you, Vinted, as well, for having me. I also know labas as Lithuanian, kavos, very important. Ačiū, that's all. Sorry. Well, so I'm here to talk about the redesign of Discovery at Vinted. So basically, this is where Smart Journey begin. So a little bit of introduction of myself. So I come from a very, very far away country. Is there anyone from Brazil here? Thought so. Yes. So I'm from Brazil. I'm living in Berlin. Any Germans? Anyone from Berlin? Okay. That's me again. And yeah, so I have been working for Vinted for 2 years, roughly, and I have been working as a designer for around 12 years now. I have been working with like different industries, automotive, Volkswagen, and 26 Bank. Now Vinted, and yeah, I like to say that I like to design with people at the center, shaping change with vision, creativity, and looking to the future. And I hope I can show a little bit of a glimpse of the future today to all of you. So first things first, important question. Let's start with a question. So how many of you, or who here, please raise your hand, who start shopping at Vinted, going straight ahead to search? You don't go to the homepage, but you go to search. Okay, very specific intention. Users, nice. Who here has bought like 2 different categories, like fashion, electronics, or have like bought home decor, sports? Only that? Okay. Okay. Nice. And the last question is, who here has bought something straight ahead from the homepage, and you open the homepage, you felt like, wow, this was made for me? Very few hands. Yeah. I would thought so, but things were about to change, and I really want to explain how we are changing this. So what I want to say today is I want to, invite everyone to go back like 2023 to our past, when we just want to see it, remember like how the experience was, like how we know how the homepage was, the look and feel, the things we have been working today, all the changes we have been doing with the team, and I also want to give a little bit of a glimpse of like what's going to happen tomorrow in the future. So to make easier, I would like to introduce Lisa. Lisa is going to be our product persona today. She's like a Vinted user, so meet Lisa. She, as many, I believe, of you here, has been using Vinted. She's using Vinted for over like 3 years. She's mainly shopping for women clothing. She switches between goal-oriented or specific-oriented. Goal-oriented is basically, as I ask the same question, I go like straight ahead to search. I know what I want, and I go there. And more explorative browser is like when you open the homepage, and then you're just there to kill some time and see if there's something that really sparks your eyes. Of course, as every person, she has some problems. So, like back in 23, she was saying like recommended feels a bit like irrelevant for me. It feels like it's a bit repetitive. See like over and over the same brands, the same items, and so. And this is something that we have seen across like different users as well. She was also saying that it was hard to discover what truly matters to her. Finding like fresh brands was quite hard for her. We were not like, because we didn't have like a tailored experience. So when she was saying that like when she goes to homepage, everything feels repetitive. I don't feel like my intentions are being represented here, so not really like resonated. And again, not really a problem, but as a pattern here, she was mostly buying from search. And this kind of gave us a little bit of opportunity, okay, why the users are going straight ahead to search when there's a massive opportunity to, see different things in the homepage that really, thrives their inspiration or discoverability, or to find something that really kept their eyes. So how this actually looks like in reality. So think like she's coming back from her work, she's commuting. We all open social media. In this case, she's opening Vinted to kill some time. She's browsing the homepage. She sees nothing's relevant. She gets frustrated, and she switches back to Instagram because she probably is going to find something a little bit more relevant. So let's think about like how might we transform the homepage into a space where Lisa and all our users discover what truly matters to her, while naturally leading them to a more meaningful purchase flow. We had a very bold hypothesis, and this is something that we were doing like around like desk research, with researching the market, and we realized the higher hypothesis was if we have a personalized feed, we believe that people will stay longer in the homepage, and then as a consequence, they will buy more. And we also saw like 91% of people, consumers, they feel their recommendations are relevant when they have this active, like when they're shopping. And 85% they said like they would definitely personalize influence homepage will influence their purchase. So have this in mind. We made a very big bet some time ago, 2020 as I said, and we introduced the Recommender for You channel. And this was one of the big movers that we have like in Vinted. And to do so, we push this to the top of the homepage to really bring awareness of this. And how this was working on was the Recommender is the machine learning algorithm that will be understanding like based on your brands, on the engagement, favoriting of the things you buy, and start recommending more of like those similar items, similar brands to you. Not only that, we expanded to Recommender to other parts of the product. We introduced those 2 brand blocks where basically we're connected to the brands you have been favoriting or purchasing. So every time you would open Vinted, this will refresh, and it will propose different brands likely that you're going to be buying for. Well, we had a very good result, a very good like earned sign. We saw like around like 4% of transactions increase on that, and this gave us a little bit of confidence like how to what's going to be our next steps. Of course, there's always like noise in the way. There's like some challenges. So we introduced the homepage, the recommended in the brands and also in the blog. So for Lisa in this case, she was saying like, well, when I'm browsing my feed, sometimes I feel like a bit flooded with all the categories that I don't really care about it. And this kind of makes my discovery experience a little bit frustrating and noisy. So that was a big, good, very bold statement. And then with that, we would start introducing something that would even like make the whole experience like a little bit more, I would say, challenging for Lisa if she didn't have like clear intention. So we introduced design and electronics as the first step of the multi-verticals. And to make a clear experience for her, we introduced the stop navigation on the top, where we have all design and electronics, where we believe that like having doing this, we would segment the user experience in each part of like the tab. We call it category homepage. So we have designer, electronics, and all for the beginning. So every time that she was, searching for or browsing, everything that we would see under like one specific category page would be recommended. We have the brands, we have different, subcategories there. We have like smartphones, tablets, everything will be connected to the homepage, scope homepage. So the overall experience wouldn't overlap with her all feed. Well, this also gave us some very good impressions. We saw that like by switching the context of not overfloating her feed, first of all, would give Lisa more control and clear results of what she would see. And then we also saw positive impressions on both like transactions and on designer and electronics. And then, of course, more problems comes because when we start like, adding a few things, there's always something that have to be improved. So introduce like electronics and designer. That's something that we were really like fostering Vinted to be promoted like in the feed. And of course, as a new category, the supply is quite low. So we saw that like the majority of we saw like repetitive items again because supply was kind of little for design and electronics. We saw the most of like the items being recommended were designer and electronics, And fun fact, like around like 40% of users didn't have even noticed like the top navigation on the homepage. So this was like all learnings we got from this introduction. Great. So how might we enable Lisa to effortlessly discover diverse and relevant items by making navigation a little bit more intuitive, more fluid, and visible for her? And this is like what I call like the breakthrough. This was basically aligned with the vision of Vinted to become a multi-vertical powerhouse. We had the maturity of Recommender. We saw the good insights. We saw the metrics the Recommender was working on. And we decided to take a step forward. With more verticals, more categories coming up, Lisa, in this case, she would have like more options to buy, different items to buy or to explore. So of course, the scope will be bigger. And of course, we're thinking about the overall impact. Expand the business would give like more control to Lisa in the multi-verticals, which will lead to more discoverability. So just a little recap here. So we introduced like fashion first, we have designer. This was like the breaking through to bring like more luxurious items to Vinted. Then fashion. Then we have designer to introduce like more luxurious items to Vinted. Then we have electronics expanding like the category to be more tech like oriented. So we have mobile phones, we have video games, we have tablets, smartwatches, and so. And lastly, we introduced many more categories to Vinted as a multi-vertical powerhouse. Great. So what do we do with this bunch of like categories? How do we put this on the homepage? How we do not overwhelm the user with like so many options, so many possibilities to buy? We have to think, we have to question ourselves, what is a homepage? So think like when you're walking in a shopping mall, you have a bunch of stores, you have a bunch of kiosks, we have like so many brands, so many different stores to get in, so many possibilities and to shop for. Where to start? So think like homepage needs a starting point, which means guidance. So when you go to the shopping mall, usually you don't know where you go to those displays where you can easily spot like your favorite shop or your favorite like brand you want to go, and this is like where it gives you the direction to go. So the context switch navigation on top, we made discoverability easier, more simple, and dynamic, where basically those shapes, they can change orientation, they can scale it to different verticals. It can also like, promote like recommendations to Lisa in this case. It also gives the idea of like when you're having a clear mind, I'm going to go to a women's department store. I go there because I want to see women's items. I want to see women's clothing. So I go there. To the category homepage, we bring as a control, context control. So category homepage is basically when you go, as I said, we go to the store, you define where you want to go, women's, amazing. I can see all these different items I can see on the women, but at the top I can also see like what the other subcategories or other items I can browse for. So only what matters in every category, because again, everything that we see here is recommended for Lisa. Amazing, but then how to improve even more the experience? Maybe she wants to buy to something else. Maybe she wants to get like aware, she wants to be immersive of different things. So context switch provides Lisa to easily switch from one context, women's shopping, women's category, to another one for her interest. So in this case, she's going to get like something for her house, for her home, so home in decor. So context switch homepage is basically a department store one tap away, where basically you have like navigation on top. You see like the different subcategories. Maybe I want to buy something, shoes, a skirt, and like women. But maybe I want to go to electronics now. I want to buy a laptop and so on. So everything very easy to spot on. Total control to Lisa and the users to decide where they want to see. Of course, this was not possible without like the very strong recommender model we have. We have a set of attributes put in our recommender that we learn day by day by the user, by different interactions, by the way how users are engaging, purchasing, favoriting. These are just a few of like the attributes you consider in the recommender to really empower the recommender to deliver what's really meaningful for Lisa in this case. So at the end, we have tailored experience for Lisa, where she can see where she wants to go, each category she wants to start browsing on, and she also see like all the items that we recommended for her. So in a nutshell, the recommender is empowered by Lisa. It's recommended by Lisa. She sees everything that's only recommended by her. And of course, it's made for her. So looking back in 2024, in the beginning, we saw that around like half, like 50% of people were shopping directly from search. And then only 18% were actually using homepage to get inspired, to buy things from the homepage. This year, we made a change. We increased 89% of transactions coming from the homepage because the homepage is personalized. We see things that made sense for you. This is also across different like the verticals, and everything is like personalized. So of course, we made this massive change. So as a big takeaway here, I want to say that when you tailor experience to users' needs and behaviors, you do not only unlock both relevance for them, but also growth for the business. And how we did this, just a few small takeaways. We start small, map that out, like where there are frictions, where there are repetitions for the user, try to understand where the biggest struggles are coming from. Sometimes they are very small. Start testing, start to have like very small iterations. Test different UIs, test in different places in the homepage and the product to see where can be the outcome has been revealed, and of course measure the impact. Sometimes there's a very small change. We saw like in the top navigation, it was mostly, of course, the recommended, but it was like the UI change improved like radically like the impact. So measuring everything, every UI change you do. So these 3 pillars that I said. Starting small, testing, improving. This will lead us to the next steps of the homepage. Then many, many more will come from the next year on. So with smart journeys, relevance turns into discovery, and discovery into growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Haran. This was super interesting, although I was privileged to see this work unfolding, but the way you connected into this presentation was super interesting. Thank you very much. Questions, folks? Hands up. One there.
One there?
You got it?
Yeah.
Hi, very cool presentation. Thank you very much. I actually have a question when it comes to these recommendations. Doesn't it turn into this cycle where you actually just close the cycle and keep looking at only the things that I'm interested in? But then didn't you think of throwing in something totally new and just seeing if it actually works, if it catches it? And if it doesn't, then maybe try something else if it catches that? Have you thought about that?
Thank you. Yes, we have, and we are testing on that. We are working on actually this model. So basically, we're trying to think of, like, we have recommended items for you, but there are some hook items, hook categories there that if you engage well, then you try like retrain the algorithm. So yes, it's a very good question. Thank you. Anyone?
Oh, giving people some. Oh, question more. Good. One more question.
So what you shared is what worked, right? Do you have anything on your mind out of the UI changes that did not work, that flopped quite big?
Of course. Of course. I mean, the first navigation you saw didn't work, but we didn't have those pills. That one didn't work. We also had, like, initially this high-value, this designer brand, designer banner in the homepage. I don't know, maybe you guys remember. This was like a few years ago. Our hypothesis was like to really like introduce or really bring awareness of like designer items for the members, but that was not performing as we wanted. So that also, like it failed.
I just want to ask, how do you gather feedback from real users? Like, do you listen to their opinions? Can they ask what do they want? Or, for example, comparing to some other platforms and seeing suggestions. So how does it work at Vinted?
Nice question. Yes, we do. We do, if I'm not mistaken, like even twice a year or even more when you have capacity to do qualitative research, where basically you are actually talking with the users. It's more like, hey, how good is our homepage? How good is our product? Where we get like really qualitative feedback. On top of that, of course, we have quantitative as well. We have the metrics, showing us like some signals. But we do have like often conversations with users to understand what is burning. Not to mention that we're always looking at Reddit, what people are storming the internet, on the comments, and so everything that people write, we take into consideration to improve the product. Yep.
I was wondering approximately how, when you release something new, how long it takes you to check the data and decide whether you confirm this or mission abort.
So when I list something. Yeah, when I list something new. You talk about like me as a user listing something, or? Yes. Yeah, we test. We A/B test literally everything. Everything is A/B test. We have this thing that at minimum, depending on how complex is our test, minimum 2 weeks. And it can be like 1 month or even more, depending like how complex it is, our testing. Yeah.
So you mentioned testing. Do you have the internal testing, or you use some other programs for that?
Yes, so we actually have A/B tests where basically we have a control test. So for example, we think like, okay, we're going to test this new feature to Germany or Lithuania. We put like 20% of all the users will be exposed to this test. And then after 2 weeks, minimum time, we're going to be analyzing these metrics. So it's all these A/B tests, they are actually live tests.
Folks, this is a great chance if your feed on Vinted is not doing what it's supposed to do.
Oops. Nice. Anyone else?
All right, and with that, a huge round of applause for Aaron.
Thank you, thank you.
And for our next speaker, all the way from Estonia, please meet Svea.
There's a button, apparently, coming in hot after this amazing presentation with my 12 slides and an emotional support iPad. So here we go. I will be talking about how we guide our customers to smarter messaging journeys in Mesente. Let me just figure out how can I use everything I have in my hands. No emotional support, I guess. So let's go. Mesente. We are a messaging platform. Maybe you have heard of us. If you haven't heard of us, you might have heard about some of our competitors there. That's not to flex or anything, but are a lot lower scored than us. We help our customers to send SMS, WhatsApp, and Viber messages. And just to put it in numbers, last year we processed 564 million messages globally to 1,015 operators and 190 plus countries. Because the world is crazy. Can't really count exactly how many countries there are, but it's pretty much everywhere except North Korea. And how do I fit into this role? I make sure that our customers have the tools and know-how to actually succeed with their messages. So I do onboarding sessions, one-on-one one-on-one workshops, webinars, strategic consulting, and lately I've also moved a bit more to the operational side, so creating training materials and taking care of our tools, keeping the data tidy, etc. So on the picture I only have one hat on my head, but actually I wear many. And when I first joined Mescente, approximately 2 years ago, I had no idea how the messaging world functions. I figured it's super easy. Turns out it's not that easy at all. There's a whole kind of like not a rocket science, but a science behind it, a bunch of regulations, rules, etc. that you have to consider. For example, if you want to send any kind of messages, even just authentication in the UK, you have to register each and every template, or you can't send marketing messages in France on Sundays. So fun times, but let's leave all of these technical details aside for today and talk about how we can actually make the messaging or your messaging better for the end users or the recipients then. So there is an example on the screen which I have translated. You might see that this message arrived on my phone on a random Thursday in May at 22:02. Not a fun time to receive anything, and much more not a fun time to learn that your ongoing renovation process is completely ruined because the delivery is delayed. So I was expecting an entire kitchen worth of appliances, and turned out it was late. Everything else was ordered, scheduled, the handyman were supposed to come the day after, etc. And then I get this one. Hello, we're informing you about the change of delivery date for your order. New delivery date is blank. We are sorry for the inconvenience. It was inconvenient, to be fair. And there's pretty much 2 reasons to it. There is no date, and it was sent so late that I couldn't sleep after it. But it is a small mistake if you think about it. It can happen to anyone, right? So that's how, or I'm going to share the approach we have to help our customers avoid these kinds of small mistakes that might turn into a huge spiral to some of your end users. As in previous presentations, I also have 3 pillars because we all like number 3, I guess. So first one, you have to make sure that there is actually a relevant reason to send messages. So if you think about the text message, it's kind of like going into someone's home instead of having a message in your product, right? You go in a really personal space. You also have to kind of manage your expectations because there's only so much that you can do within one message, whether it's SMS, which is like 160 characters, or a WhatsApp or a Viber message, which can be richer and longer. And of course, we can't get over measuring the results. So, relevant reasons for sending text messages to your customers. If you didn't know, then 97% of SMS messages are opened within 1 minute or seen within 1 minute. That's an industry standard. So quite a good way to go, right? It's super trustworthy, except for some of the scammers out there. It definitely increases your brand visibility, feels very personal, etc. And it is rather transparent and reasonably priced as well. However, none of these are really good reasons to send SMS messages and going into their homes, right? So the actual reasons for sending text messages should be something that the customer or the end user can act on. So an actionable notification, a really good offer, or making a good impression, making your customer smile maybe. these are like reasons. So you have to think about what does this message do to your customer and how can they relate to it. Next up, setting the expectations. So I think all of us receive a lot of text messages on a daily basis, and some of these are immediately actionable. For example, OTPs, verification codes, time-critical notifications. Your hairdresser might send you a notification that you have to show up. Or package delivery information. So your Vinted package has arrived. There's also a bunch of informational text messages. Appointment confirmations, upcoming changes in products, upcoming changes in workflows, etc. And sometimes delayed order notifications. And last, I think this is something we see the most actually, are messages that I like to call invitational. So pretty much something that invites the user back to your product, back to your service to engage with you again. Mostly it's marketing messages. So for example, shopping cart reminders, discount codes, thank you for visiting, etc. Or fill in the feedback survey, for example. So all kind of invitation messages. And when you start creating your messaging flow, or when you try to improve it, then this is definitely something you have to consider, that each of your messages can have one main expectation. You can't expect one message to do everything for you. So kind of choose wisely, right? And now to measuring results. We have a bunch of messages that are easily measurable. So these are the ones that you can take immediate action upon, right? If you receive an OTP message, then you enter the code into the product, into the app, you log in, everyone sees how fast, or it can be tracked, how fast you entered it, did you enter it at all, etc. So quite easy. When it comes to the other kinds of messages, it's not that easy anymore, because, for example, if you send an informational message saying that your business location is changing and your customers need to visit the new location, then how can you track it, right? Do they visit the new place or not? If you send reminders for appointments, can you really measure the no-shows or not? Because this doesn't necessarily come only from the message being delivered or not, right? There can be so many other reasons, but still, these are relatively good things that you can measure. So, for example, if you inform your customers about important changes or something that has been an issue for many of them, then you can expect that your support is being contacted less, right? These are the things. Or many of our customers actually include sending the messages in their direct feedback service. So they're asking, do you even care? Is it something that you find useful? And it turns out that the customers are responding to them, so that's nice. And when it comes to invitational messages, then again, you can measure the percentage of transactions completed, the customers coming back, right? Again, very broad. Discount codes, click-through rates, message open rates. When it comes to WhatsApp or Viber, SMS cannot be tracked that specifically, right? So quite easy. Find the right numbers and then you're good to go. Unfortunately, based on the 10 plus years of experience we have at Vicente, it's not that easy. So a lot of the customers and the leads that we have tend to look only these first numbers here. So number, database quality, and technical delivery issues, which means that technical delivery issues are probably the first thing they want to find and the customer wants to find, because we never want to think that we have done something not ideally, right? So At first, they look at how many messages are delivered to their users. If it's 90%, then it's like, but why not 100, right? If it's 70%, then why not 75, etc. So you're trying to find the reason maybe in the wrong place. But the most common reason really why it is low, the delivery, is that the number database quality is very poor. The same comes to marketing messages, for example. So we are talking about all kinds of messages that are delivered via personal phone number. If you have collected phone numbers over 10 years, for example, or if the customer has to enter their phone number every time when they use your product, for example, then the error percentage is quite high. They might make a mistake, the message never gets delivered, right? And there are technical delivery issues as well. As mentioned before, there are loads of rules and regulations, so if you don't know anything about them or if you don't follow them, the message will pretty much go somewhere in space, never arrives to the user. My favorite question to our customers is why should the end user care about this message if they can't see any results? Is it even a message? Is it relevant? Is it the message they need? Like, there are 560 something million messages sent via us only, so we do get a bunch of them, and I think we have all experienced some kind of marketing or information that's never relevant, or the timing is just off. If you send me a message today about something that happens next week, I will forget about it, and I think many others as well. And last but not least, poor content quality. So I think the biggest thing here is missing opt-outs. Every one of us love it, right? Opt-in and opt-outs. Many of the service providers, operators, filter out marketing messages that don't have opt-outs. I had the lead coming in that didn't have an opt-out in their messages, and they told that the end users who were 65 plus years old were expected to call their service line to opt out from marketing messages which were sent every week. So super hard opt-out, and really nothing to do with that there, right? We can't fix it. If their intention is maybe not honest, then it is what it is. You can't improve it. However, we have seen that where the messages aren't delivered or where the results don't come in, the content improvements, even with the smallest things like opt-out, make it work. And last but not least, again, compliance issues, meaning that 190 plus countries, 190 plus sets of rules and regulations. So you don't have to know all of them by heart. That's what we do for our customers, right? We monitor it, we track it, and this is something just to maybe kind of keep in the back of your head that there's always a possibility that this is completely external and you can't do anything to get your messages delivered or to get your results in. To kind of maybe make it a bit more practical, because, well, my slides aren't moving that nicely and everything, right? So I have brought out a few examples from my own phone here. This one is from my home alarm company, and they informed me that they have received an alarm, like a smoke alarm, that the smoke alarm is activated, and they are sending a dispatch to my address. To cancel it, I could call the number. And here, if we analyze it, then the reason for sending this message is actionable notification, right? I need to take action straight away because there's either a fire or something else going on in my home. Their expectation is likely the customer to contact the service provider because the stats of these alerts being true in that sense that there is actually a fire are quite low. So more likely it's something else, or you have burned your food, which might have happened here. And the result in this case was a customer call. I called them, told them I did burn my food, and they did not send the dispatch or the patrol to my home. So it's quite clear why this message was sent, why it's useful to send it via text, because if they had sent it to me in any other format, I would not have received it. I check my email, I don't know, once a day maybe, right? So the next example, from last year, Ultrace is a car event held in Poland. I went there and they sent me a marketing message. This is the only message I ever received from them via SMS. And they're saying the next Ultrace event dates, tickets go live, and the pre-sale goes live for the newsletter subscribers and visit the website, right? So I can't really find the reason for this message. It's not time critical. Why would you come into my personal phone for this one? I understand that their strategy is to increase the hype. Is my time running up? Okay. I understand that their strategy is to increase the hype, and that's their overall marketing strategy, but it does not work with SMS in this format because, again, within a week, you will forget about these things, and here there's two intentions, right? You should sign up for the newsletter, or you should purchase the ticket when it comes live to everyone else, right? I don't think they could measure these results because there is nothing to measure here, and I was frankly just confused by it. I hoped there will be a follow-up. There wasn't any follow-up. They did not send messages through us, so I could not check anything there, whether my phone number got turned off or something. But one thing for sure, this message didn't encourage me to buy these tickets. This one is from my family doctor, general practitioners, and they made some changes and went to a new portal. So before that, I could only email or call my family doctor. So they sent me a message saying that now I can submit my health concerns via the portal as well. This is, again, an actionable notification, right? I do contact them every now and then. There's a clear expectation that I will forward my health concerns via the portal. And I think it's important to note that the expectation is to do it starting from the next time I need to do it, right? Because otherwise, how do you measure the result? The goal is that no one would send their personal data via email anymore, right? So that's their hope or goal with that. I think this is the last example. This is the last example. Thank you. If you have any questions, hit me up.
I'll help you with handing the mic for questions. Questions?
Yeah, so messages have really limited characters, and it seems that your team should be excellent at copy, how to say relevant, useful information in just a few words. Do you provide like guidance for your clients, how to craft the message?
We do provide some guidance. However, it is very difficult to say exactly what the customer should say. There are some best practices that could be followed. Also, for example, special characters that could be removed, etc. Links that could be shortened, stuff like that. So these are all kind of like the best practices that come by default with all of our onboarding programs. However, if you do have longer messages, then SMS is likely not your channel. If you think about your phone screen and how you look at your SMS messages, you don't want to read like a 7-part message, right? You want to read short things. You're maybe more used to reading longer messages via WhatsApp, for example, or Viber, if you use it. So all of these channels can and should be used simultaneously, pretty much. You can choose which channel is the best for this kind of message. If you send an authentication code, it's 20 characters. So you send it via SMS, but if you send a survey, you can send it via WhatsApp, right? So different channels for different content, I guess.
Hello, you chose not to, or you can't use emojis?
In the SMS messages, you mean? In WhatsApp and Viber, you can use emojis. And I think, or I don't think, in SMS messages, you can't use emojis. They won't be delivered as emojis. So they are either delivered as like complete gibberish, or if you have the good provider, like Mesenta, then they will be replaced by like, semicolon or something like that. But yeah, SMS as a protocol is from 1980s. Nothing has changed to this protocol, so it is exactly the same as it was back then. It's archaic a bit. So no emojis on SMS, WhatsApp and Viber go crazy.
Thank you. So you have mentioned that 97% of the people see the messages and engage with them, open them. But how many messages you should send to the people, like follow-ups, so that they really engage back and see the message and think about it, or like click the link?
I don't think it's ever about the quantity of the messages. There are a few strategies that you can use, and I think the most useful one is likely building like this familiar feeling via SMS, right? Sending the messages regularly rather than sending a lot of them. So for example, you can send a message once a month. One of my favorite shops, for example, sends me a message once a month, and I know to expect it. So I always engage with it. I always go to the physical shop to buy food for my pets, right? So it is never about the quantity, and I think the quantity can hurt you really bad because people get annoyed quite easily with your SMS messages or WhatsApp and Viber messages as well.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. One of the examples that caught my attention when it comes to copy, there was actually a question about the copy. Would you think, in the case of the alarm, it's correct way to say that the patrol has been dispatched when it likely has not been dispatched? I mean, I understand it creates this sense of urgency, but probably in some time frame it's not correct.
It actually is correct. I think the service itself promised to send or dispatch. So the alarm itself, it has different levels, right? And based on the levels, it either they call you or they send like a car with the guys that can probably have a fire extinguisher or something. Haven't seen that, but yeah. So in this case, they actually did send out the patrol car because that's part of the service. What I think here is necessary or could be improved with these messages, after I called them, I did not get the confirmation via SMS that they have cancelled it. So I was still like, maybe they're already coming up. I live on the 5th floor. right? So I didn't know. I was still expecting someone. So yeah, it could be improved, but it's part of the service.
Because I understand that if you're not home and there is a fire, right? Then it's reassuring to know that it has been dispatched. But if you know that you're cooking, it's like, oh shit, I don't want anyone to come here.
Yeah, exactly. So if the cooking hazard is low, which it wasn't, nothing embarrassing here, then they won't dispatch them straight away. They will try to call you first, but this was like complete red. So that was maybe on me.
Two more questions there.
Can I ask, how do you deal with sender IDs, sender name? Are people allowed to enter whatever they want? And they can pretend to be like Revolut, Swedbank, Maxima, Zara, you name it. So how do you deal with that from the company perspective? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is one of the parts that we have decided not to automate. This is fully manual. And I think it's a lot easier right now. When I joined 2 years ago, then Mesenta had also like a self-service portal, meaning that everyone could sign up, start sending, and we saw a lot of these sender IDs that were trying to impersonate someone else, another brand. Right now, we do it manually. Based on our knowledge, we do have like a complete set of rules and guidelines that we follow to approve or decline sender ID requests. So nothing gets past us pretty much. And we want to keep it that way. It would be a lot easier, and we have tested different ways to automate it, but it's not 100% foolproof, whereas our experts are 100% foolproof. We tried to automate it with AI, but it tends to decline legitimate sender IDs as well and cause more harm than it does good. And also right now, we don't have that many new sender IDs from the companies we are not familiar with. We mostly deal with enterprise customers, meaning that even if they have 2,000 different companies or company names that they use, their customer names, right? Then we know that they are not gonna scam or spam because it's way too dangerous. It's just not possible, pretty much. And these ones, we use a dynamic sender ID, meaning that if you are, for example, a postal courier using maybe thousands of sender names, sending notifications about parcels, then we don't manually go through it every time they add someone new. Or if you are like a financial platform, we don't manually go through it. But if you are maybe a smaller or just starting out with us, then it's literally fully manual, meaning that we just get an alert and we go through it. We check the sender ID, and in most cases we know if we have any hesitations, then we also have means that I can't describe here because otherwise someone of you might start scamming.
All right, everyone, give a huge round of applause for Svea. And now, for our last course, who do we have? We have a little panel which will start with a presentation. And take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thanks. I'm Monica, a UX designer and product manager. And honestly, there's no better place than being here today with all of you, surrounded by professionals, enthusiasts, and leaders to discuss how AI is going to impact our field. But before I jump in, I would like to invite Neringa. She's new in UX, but already has a fresh perspective how AI is going to impact UX. So Neringa, the floor is yours.
You know, Monica, yesterday I was driving the car with my husband after my daily UX UI course, and he asked, aren't you afraid that you will be replaced by AI as a designer? And I remember 6 months ago, I was so sure that I was making the right transition to becoming a UX designer, but I was starting to wonder, am I sure? And I'm really interested to know how many of you are UX designers. Can you raise your hands? Okay, a lot. So let's remember who we are. According to Interface Design Foundation, UX designers are professionals who create meaningful and user-centric digital experiences. We use design principles, psychology, research methodologies to make sure that projects and services are easy to use, visually appealing, and in line with user expectations. We, as the designers, understand user needs and behaviors to make intuitive interfaces, optimize user journeys and satisfaction, and of course, drive business success. The end of an endless definition of what we do. Since AI, sorry, I forgot to switch the slides. Since AI can replace some of the parts of the tasks that I already mentioned, for example, plan research processes for you, or draw conclusions about the consumer behavior, or even plan the future of your project, I think it is the right question to ask, where do we all stand in all of this? And many AI tools can automate, accelerate, and even inspire the parts of UX work, but can it replace our creativity, or empathy, or even intuition? And I think we're all very curious how our future will look like. And I think better question to ask ourselves what we can do now to become irreplaceable, if that's even possible. And sorry, just can I go back? Yes, so I think I can see that already many people already fear, and maybe some of you already have that fear that we will be replaced by AI. But I invite you to see AI not as a competitor, but rather a powerful ally, the one that enhances our skills, not replaces them. Good news that AI takes on very boring, repetitive, time-consuming tasks, and we as designers are free to be more creative and strategic, and just do more design principles and create them. And I think we gain more time and mental space, more importantly, to create something really innovative, really high value, and truly original work. And Ginny Rometty, the former CEO of IBM, I think put it perfectly, that some people see it AI as artificial intelligence, but actually it's advanced intelligence, the technology that complements us. And I hope that AI will not take the whole future by themselves. It will also be us designers who knows how to harness it. What are your thoughts, Monica?
Yeah, so before, thoughts? So before we start the discussion, I feel that I should give my 2 cents how I feel about AI. So all of us have heard the buzz, as Neringa said, that AI is going to replace us. But you know what? Let it try. I would love to see how AI is figuring out what real estate clients want for their websites. We all have those clients who have no clue what they want, so good luck any AI trying to solve this puzzle. And what makes us irreplaceable is our curiosity, our ability to ask right questions. And I have a friend, Edita, Some of you might know her. She's amazing product designer. What you might not know, she's excellent with tools like Midjourney. And before this meetup, I had a discussion with her, how she feels about AI. Because she said that sometimes it can take her more than an hour to generate an image when she has something specific in her mind. So it's her creativity guiding the process, not AI is reading her mind. So conclusion was that AI is just another tool in our toolbox. And in places like San Francisco, where AI is booming, it's integrating in everyday workflows, but no one is replacing human insight. And recently, Miro did a survey with more than 2,000 engineers, product people, and designers. And surprisingly, 1/3 still don't use AI daily. And this is a message to team leads that we should guide our teams because some just don't know where to start. And I will share a few points how I use AI daily. So for example, when I create a flow, I upload it to ChatGPT and I ask to spot logical gaps and copy inconsistencies. Then when I lack of ideas, I don't know how to solve a problem, I turn to tools like Claude, Bolt, or Lovable. I describe my problem and I come out with fresh ideas how to solve it. And I still don't prefer prototyping in Figma. I upload my designs to these tools and I check my interactions quickly. I quickly validate my ideas. So these are the ways how I use AI daily, and Neringa, please share how you use it.
I think that I'm not letting AI to take on the whole my work. I still want to be a creative person and just use AI for some parts of it to make these time-consuming tasks shorter. And yes, I think mostly maybe about user researches to conclude some insights, and for the UI work mostly.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk. So, is there anyone who would like to share how they use AI daily? Jonas, could you warm up everyone?
So, personally, how I use AI is mostly as a thought partner in solving just about any kind of problem. So it's always out there. What particularly is useful for me, I realize that I come up with things when I'm explaining it to someone. So I just sometimes use and torture Claude like that, and I just talk to Claude for some time, and just sometimes just ask ask follow-up questions or just maintain a conversation. So that's sometimes useful on my long walks with my young daughter. Yeah, just about that. I'm happy to share more use cases, what we do as a team in more practical terms, and then per function how we use it. But maybe really love to hear from folks in the room. Yeah, because big part of figuring out how to use AI is sharing what folks have uncovered as a useful use case and a new tool, which tools work, which don't. So looking for those hands coming up.
It can be small things.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm working on instructions for users, and I'm not very good at the writing. So for me, I use ChatGPT just to help me to make it clearer. So that one, and also I tried Figma Make, but maybe I'm still very bad at prompting because the result is not very satisfying me. So yeah, if you have some advices how to use Figma Make better, please share.
I'm not an expert.
And also I tried Figma Jam to summarize the stickers and like that, and I didn't like the outcome. So we do it in our team better.
Who else used Figma Make?
please. I didn't see where.
Hello. Yeah, I have advice directly from Figma. I have a discussion with manager from Figma, Emily from London. So it's two possible ways to use the Figma Make because it was the same for me, like it's not very properly. So it's two ways to to use it. So first one, use a prompt, but it's not so very good. And another way to use some kind of wireframes you have already made and do it from the Figma Make and upgrade it. So it's working very, very great. So yeah, I'm happy for that. Just try it.
Nice. Thank you. Someone else?
Yes, I use AI, I think, like all the time. I use AI to empower my work and also to challenge my way of thinking. So for example, I have like a briefing when I'm like writing a document. I always give like a direction like, hey, you are the PM now, the product manager, or you're my manager, or you're the user. How would you think like differently? What would be like the follow-up questions? So, or where are the blind spots that I'm missing here? So it's like a more empowering tool to my way of working. And I also use the AI for generating all these videos, which is very nice. I use Gemini, Mid-Journey as well sometimes. But I think it's mostly like to really like challenge my way of thinking and really like embrace it.
That's nice. Thank you. Maybe someone else? Okay, nice.
Thank you. I'm a bit of spy here since I'm coming from game dev. And like for a year, we started extensively using AI. I'm a team lead. I'm using it a bit different. For me, it works like a thought dump, right? When we think of new features or want to come up with more structured task for a team, I usually go into a small room, like we have those like very personal rooms, and I'm just dumping everything in my head, which I had stored through the day, and then it structures it into something more digestible for a team. Now I kind of learn how to prompt AI, how to structure specifically from some guilds, like for devs, from artists, for animators. And there is another thing which is very interesting. When we need to help the team to improve a bit, like personally, I usually go first to AI, share my thoughts with AI without disclosing like names or so, and ask what the opinion is, like how the person could be improving itself, how I could help him. An interesting thing is, if you run it for quite a long time, it has this log, right? And if you give names to those persons, like person X, person B, person A, it can reference itself for that long history, like for a year or two, and kind of reflect to those KPIs and everything else. And it's really powerful if you're using it every day, but you have to use it every day and see this change in how it gives you the answer.
Thank you.
So I'm imposter here as well. So I'm an engineering manager. And I use AI for many things. The most recent development is I use it to do tasks that I feel will take more time to refine than to just give it to AI. And in our company, we now added integration with which just allows you to do 2 button clicks in Jira, and then like a code change appears, and I just need to deploy it. And it's pretty nice. So now my goal is to just clean up as much of the backlog as possible. So that's one thing. And another thing that in our company we've done is we've created this company-specific assistant, which has access to all of our internal docs, to all the team setups, everything. And it's integrated into Slack. So what I use it for is, info dump, and also for any scheduling of the things that I have to remember, or also figuring out what the hell one specific team does with one specific product or something else like that. So I think that like in Hostinger, all that AI is doing is letting you become more and more of a generalist. And I think that where I see designers going is maybe also using the AI to maybe sometimes circumvent the developer part and get some changes into production without them. So, yeah.
Nice, thank you for sharing. Okay, the next question. So, have you ever thought about this, where AI could be harmful in the ways we're working? Have you? Hallucinations? Have you encountered that? Not personally. Yeah, I thought maybe someone encountered that or would love to share. Okay, nice.
I don't think that AI itself would be harmful in many situations, but it is how you show it to your employees. Because I think now, like, we had some of like, I had some faults where I was just like, try this, try that, try this. And like, if you're just trying to pitch it to everyone, humans have a very big tendency of just sticking to the ways they do things and to just push back. So I think just the way how us humans are trying to encourage the usage of AI can be harmful. So yeah.
It's a thin line. Right.
I just remember one story that two girls made a master thesis. They wrote a lot of pages by themselves, and at that time they didn't know how to use AI properly, and universities did not know how to act with it. So they just like innocently put to AI to shorten the thesis because it was so long, and upload it as a final thesis, and they got like almost rejected from the university because like it was 79% of AI used in the work, even though they all write it, but just made AI to shorten the paragraphs. So I think it should be very harmful to do these things.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, where should humans never give up control in design process? Yeah. I can share my perspective on this. Before, now I'm working in smart metering, but before I worked with oncology. So we wanted, oncologists are burned out all doctors probably are burnt out, and we wanted to provide them, to put it shortly, the best treatment for patient based on very personal information. And we never ever considered that oncologists should be removed from the process. And so this was never like idea. And in healthcare, I think it would be super harmful if AI would be involved too much. Maybe someone else came up with an idea?
First thought that came to my mind. Someone else had a hand up? Good. Passing it over to you after. The purpose of whatever we're designing. So giving full control of that. Just yet, it doesn't seem the tech doesn't seem there. So the reason why we're building something should remain with us. I'd say. Yeah.
Hello. I think that sounds very territorial, this question, but I think that all creators should meet physically the people that they're designing to. So basically, meeting your client, like face to face, like meeting the people who are designing to. I think that's really eye-opening. So you can call it like qualitative research, like experiencing and seeing the people and having a dialogue with them. I think it helps really to understand them better. So I think that that's very valuable and eye-opening. Because like when you show user interviews for some people are like, okay, so this is what we're designing to, there's like lots of research and documentation, and like you can just share one video and it's like all clear. Yeah, it's a good reference point. So that's it.
Thank you. I love this perspective. And recently I did interviews with our power users, and I was afraid that no one will join or will want to join these calls because we send surveys frequently, like from time to time, and it's like almost zero response. And I thought, okay, no one responding to surveys, or these no one rates the product, and I thought no one will join, but everyone joined. And I loved how they engaged, how willing they wanted to share information, and I could ask follow-up questions, deeper questions on the spot. And like, if people would answer everything in surveys, I wouldn't have this opportunity to go deeper, to use this wide-known 5 whys method. So yeah, I really love your point. Yeah, so, oh, sorry, of course.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so I just wanted to share a point that recently I listened to a lecture about like why AI cannot write the music. And one of the reasons was that it's really following like the patterns and following the like the probability things, but the music often, like the good music which we listen, has really like, it's breaking the patterns, but it resonates with our bodies just because of the rhythm, because of like how our heart is working and so on. So I think the thing which we could not give up control on is the result and how it feels, because how it resonates with our bodies, how it resonates with us, I think it always will be a part which we should really like, control, and we should really, how to say, focus on.
Thank you so much. Someone else would like to? Okay, let's move. So, have you felt at least once that AI is making you lazy, or it makes you more creative? Who would love to share and confess?
I have the microphone. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine. It was just supposed to be a short comment. I think when it comes to doing, let's say, summary of a lot of information, a lot of interviews that you've gathered, and if it needs to be done in a very short time, I think that's fine being lazy in that case. But to me, I think if I have the time, I want to know how I have arrived to these conclusions. I want to truly understand everything that was said during those interviews. So I think in this case, in one case it's kind of fine to be lazy, but in other cases I want to understand how that let's say the conclusions were made. So yeah, that's the comment.
So related comment from my side, I think AI has a way to, I'm talking about myself, a way to make you feel very smart in that moment very quickly, while skipping on the hardship of learning, which is very important, and understanding, deeply understanding things. So because it's so accessible and so flexible in whatever information you need right now, here's all kinds of angles to it. It has the risk of taking you through a surface level about many things, generalist approach, etc., while kind of choosing not to dive deep into things and really go through the struggle of deeply understanding and learning. I think it's, in my experience, there's a risk of falling in that trap if often using AI to solve any kind of problem you bump into.
I can't relate more to both of you. Regarding to user interviews, I uploaded the ones I was talking about, I uploaded them to ChatGPT and I asked to do a summary. And after some iterations, I thought like, what the hell? It's like I'm falling out of love for my users while doing this. And I want to once again read what I wrote. I once again want to understand them. And why my company is paying me. Like, I have to understand them. I have to feel their pain and etc. So yeah, I can really relate. And to your point, I want to add that I wanted to do a presentation about brain rot, because this is one thing that I'm really afraid while using AI. There's Barbara Oakley. If you don't know her, you can check her. She's a brain scientist, and she suggests some great ways how to use AI so your brain won't rot. Or write me a message. It's really a fun topic for me. Maybe someone else would like to share.
Okay. I feel like AI is exactly what it's described. It's a powerful tool, so it actually empowers both. Because if you want to be creative with AI, the very first process is already, how do I approach what prompt I use? That's already creativity. And if you want to be lazy, it empowers you to be lazy to an extreme extent as well, correct? Because you can just give all of your work to it. So I don't really feel like we need an or here, it's just both.
Okay, so have you faced that problem, ethical one, in your work, maybe in personal life? Of course.
So the first thing when started like using AI for the first time, if you don't know the prompts, it's very biased, and it always says like what you like, and it's like if you don't say it, like give me the most critical opinion, what do you think about it, it will usually just agree with you.
Yeah, when I wrote my speech, AI said, "Oh, you're so nice. You're going great." Then it took me quite a few rewrites to make it good enough to be over here on the stage. Someone else, maybe?
I have a microphone, so I'll say.
Sure.
I think I heard that someone said that if you're being polite to AI, so it gives you better results. So
Yeah.
be polite, say thank you, please, sorry, all of that. Yeah. Be polite, yeah. Be polite. Respect the robot.
S-
Yeah,
Someone said to me that if you will say that is really important for me, then it will try harder. I'm not sure if that's true. No. Robots are hearing you. Mm. Yeah. Okay. Maybe someone has a perspective about this question. Would you trust AI to make a design decision for you, for your users, without human validation? Why no? Igor, maybe you would like to share something. So it's a hard no from everyone.
I think it really depends on the situation. If you are in a situation where you need to complete something really fast, if it's low risk, low visibility thing, you just need to go on. There are more important things, of course. Why not? You know, like, but if you're like more in a situation where it's the opposite, so yeah, so no.
Okay. So about our title, UX designers, do you think it will change in 5 years or it will remain the same? Who would love to share? Prompt designers? AI designers? AI UX? You would like to share? Avi? No? Maybe we have to change our titles like right now. No? Yeah. Prompter. That sounds sad. Okay. So how do you think end users will feel about AI-driven designs? Maybe they won't even notice that. I see you're shaking your head.
When we move to when AI agents will become new standard for everyday products, they will no longer care because they will use another AI agent to complete tasks for them.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Oh, that we probably, while we're designing our products, we should think that probably we're designing for agents, not humans. Of course, it depends. Maybe someone would like to share their perspective as user or designer. Okay. And as a community, how you think we should share information about experiments, lessons, so we would be more connected? Because there are so many information over here on the internet. And because I feel that when I chat with one-on-one with some person, everyone wants to connect, but somehow we're not. So that's nice. Ken. Nice. Thank you. Someone else did a hackathon in their companies? We should create a hackathon or workshop.
Maybe it's coming, yes.
Okay. And the last question, we talked how we use AI, but maybe you have go-to source for staying updated with AI or UX, AI and UX. What's your go-to? Which one? Oh, that's nice. You know, I feel that sorry, someone wanted to say something? No? I feel that engineers often knows the sources the best somehow. My team and my engineers always my go-to source. They know like everything, all the best resources. Maybe you have some? Maybe some newsletters or websites so everyone could check that. No? Okay. So, thank you so much for being here, for answering questions, for participating, and...
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Neringa, for this presentation. We're finished, but I'm inviting everyone to stay if they want to network. We usually do like circles here, and we create networking circles. If you want to get to know new people, it's a fun thing, so stay. If you can't, then we'll see you next time. Thank you for coming. So if anyone wants to stay, you can come here to the center and create circles and get to know each other, introduce yourself and say what you're doing, and this will be fun.